They told me there wouldn't be enough space. Those exact words. Not maybe next year, not things are tight, just there won't be enough space for you at the retreat. And then 9 hours later, I counted 66 people in that cabin. All my siblings, their spouses, their children, friends, even in-laws who'd only been around for a year or two. But not me. I didn't shout, I didn't argue, I let the words sink into my chest like knives. And then I smiled, because deep down I already knew. This wasn't about space, it was about erasing me. I remember the first year we did the retreat. My father grilling on the porch, my mother laughing with her glass of wine. I was 13, eager, loyal, stupidly proud to belong. Back then, I thought family was unconditional, that no matter what storms came, blood would hold. But blood doesn't hold, it spills. The first cuts were subtle, vacations planned without me, group photos where my name was an afterthought, phone calls never returned. I told myself it was nothing, but silence repeated enough times is a language, and I understood it. By the time my mother told me there isn't space, I already knew my place in their story, the disposable child. The cabin was booked for 3 nights. I didn't have an invitation, but I had something else, knowledge. 9 hours after her call, I pulled up outside the retreat. I parked where the trees swallowed my car, hidden. Through the windows I saw them, laughter, glasses clinking, kids running barefoot on the porch. They had made me invisible. But invisibility is powerful. It gives you freedom to move unseen. I slipped inside with the spare key my father once gave me, just in case. The irony was sharp. I moved quickly, quietly. My siblings never changed. Careless, loud, distracted. They didn't notice the shadows bending behind them. My first stop was the pantry. Boxes of food stacked neatly for the weekend feast. I took my time, switching labels, salting desserts, pouring out expensive wine and refilling with bargain store vinegar. Not enough to sicken, but enough to ruin. Then the power. The generator was outside, humming steady. I loosened the wires, just enough to fail when strained. Not immediately, but in the middle of dinner, when the house was buzzing with heat and music. Finally, the photographs. Framed pictures lined the hallway, last year's retreat. Grinning faces, a family united. Except, not really. I slipped mine in. A copy of the one photo where I stood in the corner, half cropped out. A reminder, a ghost among them. By evening, the house was glowing with noise. I stayed outside, watching. I wasn't there to join. I was there to undo. Dinner began with laughter. My mother at the head of the table, radiant, smug. "So glad everyone could make it," she toasted. The words hit me like spit. Everyone. The first bite drew frowns. The roast was bitter, oversalted. The dessert cloying with vinegar aftertaste. Wine spit back into glasses, a symphony of ruined mouths. Confusion spread, irritation thickening like smoke. And then, right on cue, the lights died. The generator groaned, sputtered, silence swallowing the room. Children cried, adults cursed. Chaos. I heard my mother's voice rise above the dark, sharp and panicked. She had built this retreat as her stage, her kingdom, and now it was crumbling in her hands. I stepped forward. Not inside the cabin, just close enough for the porch light, the emergency lamp, to catch me when the door flung open. It was my brother who saw me first. His face drained. Then my mother. She froze, as if seeing a ghost. I didn't speak. I just held up my phone. The screen glowed with a recording, her voice, cold and dismissive, telling me there wasn't enough space. Her words echoed through the silence of the night, louder than any scream. The family stared, 66 witnesses. Some turned to her in confusion, others in disgust. The truth was undeniable. She had carved me out of their lives, And now the knife was in her hand for all to see. She stammered, reaching for excuses, but no one moved to defend her, not even my father. He looked down at his plate, shame thick on his face. The retreat was broken, the laughter dead. My mother's kingdom had collapsed in seconds. I didn't wait for her screams to start. I turned, walked back into the woods, the night swallowing me whole. Later, people would call, text, some with apologies, some with silence. It didn't matter. I wasn't looking for their voices anymore. I had already taken back mine. They told me there wasn't enough space for me, and I proved them right. Because now, there isn't enough space in their memories, their photos, their precious traditions, without me standing in the shadows of it all. I don't need their retreat. I don't need their table. I built something stronger. I built silence that screams. And in that silence, I finally belong to myself.